There's evil in the world and violence could happen at any time. After the Pittsburgh shooting, people bonded together, though, no matter what their faith. Monsignor Guy Massie is the vicar for ecumenical and interreligious affairs in the Brooklyn Diocese, and he joins us to talk about that aspect now. Monsignor, thank you so much for being here with us. 11 people murdered. The ones slaughtered inside the synagogue, as you know, targeted by an anti-Semite, gunning them down because they're Jews. Plain and simple. What should people of faith be doing right now to confront this hate?
I think that things like this do not happen in a vacuum. I think this has been an ongoing situation in the United States. How do people of faith act? I think we need to emphasize the common brother and sisterhood of all people. We need to hear very clearly our readings that God is the Father of all. And we need to recognize people as having dignity. And you know, one of the things is people can be very frustrated with this and can curse these things, but better to do just the opposite. Better to speak to our children about these things, better to be very careful about conversation that goes on in our homes, in our schools, because ears listen, little children listen, and that creates the attitudes that children grow up with. They learn those things at home. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, I think it has to be, we have to look back at what our respective religious groups teach and point to the things that we have that are common, we hold in common.
And I want to talk to you about that, Monsignor, this commonality. How can we as Catholics, who know all too well the pain of religious persecution, now support our brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh in this time of deep loss and pain?
Well, one thing to do might be to reach out to the local Jewish communities who are probably a little bit frightened now because, you know, they have a history of anti-Semitism that has certainly they have suffered, or their ancestors or their predecessors have suffered in other places, but who would ever think that would happen in the United States? Number two, they need to know that they are not alone, that the communities surround them, and that they are one of us, that there isn't, you don't want to have this where we see God differently, but we are all the children of God, but that doesn't separate us from each other, from helping each other, being part of the same community, and from living together.
I want to get that last point in, Monsignor, in the time we have left. You have a very important role in what you just said. In the simplest of terms, you as a Catholic priest, you serve as the bridge between our faiths, right? How deeply connected are the Catholic and the Jewish religions in the diocese?
Well, out of Judaism comes Christianity. So as a result, the base is right there. I mean, this coming Sunday, that is November 11th, the prayer is the Shema prayer that Jesus says right in the Gospel. And it's quoted in Deuteronomy, which is the first reading. Right there, God is one. And this holds together the universality of humanity, that one God idea. And it also, for the two of us, Judaism and Christianity, Jesus comes out of that. And the foundational beliefs are very similar, if not the same. Probably the thing that separates us is the divinity of Christ and the Christological things that we believe, but the core of morality, the universality of humanity is right there.
All right, I'm afraid we have to leave it there, Monsignor Massie, but perfect last words.